It's a phrase or interpretation that I've seen thrown around a lot. Luke tried to kill his nephew, Ben Solo. But let's look at what we're actually dealing with. There are 3 versions of the scene where Luke confronts Ben. 3 versions of the truth. 3 fuzzy memories. 3 versions that we get to see of the same event. One is from Luke, one is from Ben, and one is an emotional retelling by Luke as he's under duress. And it's a mixture of the 2 accounts, more truthful together than they are separate. Luke's account is told first in the film. "I went to confront him," Luke says, "and he turned on me." In this account, we begin by seeing the exterior of Ben's quarters, and then we immediately cut to Ben destroying the structure. Luke, in his retelling, completely skips over talking about all of his feelings of pain and anguish. He completely skips over the fear he felt when he peered at what was to come. He never mentions any of it, and we discover these feelings later in the movie because the 3rd and final retelling of this memory. But in version 1, in this version, Luke tells his side of the story, and in it, he chooses to omit some very important information. Version 2 is Kylo's retelling of the event. In it, he is awoken by the sound of an igniting lightsaber, and when he turns to look, Luke is standing over him, gazing like a madman. A murderous look on his face, eyes glazed over, red rings around his eyes, lightsaber aglow, standing at the ready as he swings high to low like a lumberjack to wood with no hesitation. And there Ben is, lying in his rack, startled and scared. Ben obviously doesn't know Luke's true intent. He barely has enough time to react as he rolls over. There's something to be discovered about personal perspective here, not to mention eyewitness testimony, even personal bias, when comparing these 2 versions from 2 different people of the same event. In Luke's version, he's just going in for a chat, he's a little worried, and then Ben attacks him. In Ben's version, Luke is a mouth-foaming monster, an assassin hovering over his bed, who goes in for the kill. Same event, 2 accounts. The 3rd version is told once again from Luke, and it seems to be the most truthful of the 3. It's a confession. It's a confession filled with shame and an attempt at atonement. Luke says that he sensed it building in him, and he looked inside, and it was worse than he ever imagined. Snoke had already turned his heart. He says that he would bring pain and death at the end of everything Luke loves because of what he will become, and for the briefest moment of pure instinct, Luke thought he could stop it, but it passed like a fleeting shadow, and Luke was left with shame. And the last thing that Luke saw were the eyes of a frightened boy whose master had failed him. Luke said that he saw that Ben would bring pain and destruction to everything that he loved. This was a split-second instinctual thought to save all of that by contemplating, for the briefest moment, a swift action to save it all. 3 very different accounts of the same event. Biases, eyewitness testimony, memory bias even. Is there even a correct version of this event? Or is it impossible to get to the truth because of faulty and biased memories? And just like the mistellings, exaggerations, and faulty memories in each of the retellings of this event, the internet seems to have the same mistellings, exaggerations, and faulty memories about what they saw in the movie theater. Some people seem to only remember one retelling, or choose to remember one retelling. It's interesting.